2D is an exponent problem where we have variables. So we just need to make sure we understand how to group these things and group them together. So in this case here, we have x to the power a, and we have -2 groups of those. So we're talking about multiplication here. So this becomes x, we multiply power to power, we end up with -2a. When we have the next set of brackets, we have times, and again, it's important that we're connecting thing with times, because times, if it's connected by times and divide, then we're just using times divide math here. So we have 1x, but 3 groups of x multiplied, so we get x cubed. And then we have y to the power a, we have a of them, but we have 3 groups of a. That means we just multiply them to get 3a. In the denominator, we're going to end up with 2 to the power 3, x to the power 3. Don't forget that both multiplying pieces, or both factors, get that exponent. Times, we have x to the power a, but we have 2 groups of them. We have a x's, and we have 2 groups of those, which means we're going to multiply those together. So a times 2 is 2a, and then we end up with y squared. Okay, so we have all our exponents counting. So we're just going to add up all those exponents, which means we're going to add and subtract exponents now. So here, I'm going to just put the x's together. So I'm going to maybe color code these. So the x's, 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 and x's. I'm going to do the numerator first. So I end up with x. I have 3 of them, and I'm taking away 2a of them. Okay, so I'm going to add those exponents together. In the bottom, I have x, I have 2a, and I have plus 3 of them. Okay, now if I want to do a shortcut here, I could, since it's all connected by times and divide, I can get rid of those times 3, divide 3, but that's going to happen when I subtract those anyways. Okay, so I can do it in this step or the next step. I'm going to do it in the next step. With the y's, I'm going to group all these y's together. So I end up with 3, and I'm going to do this in the numerator. I have y, I have 3a y's in the numerator, and I'm dividing by 2y, so I'm taking away 2 multiplications, which means divide. So it's going to be -2, or I can subtract the divide. And then I can't forget about the 2 cubed, so I'm just going to leave that as 8 in the denominator. Okay, so the last step then is I'm going to deal with those x's. So it's going to be 8, 1 over 8 in the denominator. When I add up the x's, I'm going to have 3 minus 3. That's going to be 0. I have -2a minus 2a, which is -4a. And since that's a negative, my final answer, I'm going to put that into the denominator. Okay, so then my final answer here is y to the power 3a minus 2, 8 times x to the power of -4, or that's not going to be negative anymore. When I put it as divide in the denominator, it becomes positive 4a. Okay, so there's my final answer.